what's up, guys? Got another new video here for you. This is Tuned in Sports. And my name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
And today we've got some breaking Eagles news. Carson Wentz, number 11 for the Philadelphia Eagles, is officially on the Indianapolis Colts. After months of talk about the future and all this other stuff, it's clear that, they made it pretty clear that the direction was not to have him involved, which is kind of weird because all the hires they made kind of made me think that their direction was with him involved, but then they just started moving people. And so there we have it. He's officially on the Colts.
Yeah.
He was traded for a third-round pick
And
as well as
rounder.
a second-round pick. But depending on how the Colts do, if they get to a certain level or something like that, the second-round pick turns into a first-round pick for the Eagles. So it's like a switch pick kind of thing. I don't know exactly what to call it. But if they perform at a high level, or I don't know if it's if the team does well or if Carson himself does well, but if something happens and it goes well, the Eagles' second-round pick turns into a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this trade goes, I feel like they got pretty equal in return. I feel like this was a good trade for both sides. The Colts, for what Wentz was really doing for the Eagles, I feel like, getting this in return wasn't necessarily a bad, because Wentz, especially with his injury history and stuff, I feel like you weren't really going to get all that much for him anyways. So I feel like this was, in terms of, return, I don't feel like this was all that bad. But, I still am freaking shocked that they didn't take a deal with the Bears. I think the Bears were offering like a first rounder, a third rounder, and Tariq Cohen for Wentz. And they shot that deal down. I still think the Bears got screwed in that whole ordeal. Because I just feel like they offered a lot more and got turned down.
Yeah.
So I just was like, really? It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Speaking of which, other news also is that Desean Jackson has officially been released today, but we'll get into that in a minute. But, as far as this trade goes, I agree. I feel like in some respects, the Eagles were being a bit ridiculous with how much they were wanting in return for Wentz with how he played last season. His stock was not high, and the fact that they were expecting a Matthew Stafford type trade was a little bit unrealistic. However, like he said, I really kind of don't feel great about this trade simply based on the fact that I felt like we could have gotten more in a deal with the Bears than we got in a deal with the Colts. And
exactly.
I know technically a first and a third averages out to a second, and we got at least a second, if not a first here, but we could have gotten a player. I even heard Nick Foles floating around potentially for a little bit. So I don't know. I just feel like a deal with the Bears from the Eagles standpoint, a deal with the Bears would have been
better.
We could have gotten more return on our investment. Now, as a fan of Wentz himself, first of all, I think the Colts is the right situation. I think for Wentz's career moving forward, if he was to be put on the Bears, I don't see him making it much longer. I see him being a backup, unfortunately, because I think he needs to go somewhere and rebuild his confidence and stuff. And I think that the Colts is the situation for him to do it. Whereas I think if he went to the Bears, it could be more of the same struggles that he had with the Eagles. So I personally I'm happy for him that he ended up in what I believe to be the best situation out of it. But from a fan of the Eagles, I feel like regardless, we should have done the deal with the Bears because we could have gotten more return. So I'm not upset, but I'm also not thrilled. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think really who won this trade was Bears fans. I feel like they would have been giving up way too much if the Eagles would have done that deal. So ultimately, I think the winners of the trade were definitely the Bears.
For not being involved.
Yeah, for not. I mean, for the Eagles not taking that deal, because I think for what they were giving up, they wouldn't have gotten the same return with Wentz. So
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I hope that Wentz does really well wherever he goes, and I want him to be what I thought he could be. I don't think last year was an indicator of what kind of a quarterback he is. Because every other year that he played on the Eagles, he performed well. It was just one year that he struggled, and now all of a sudden he's horrible. I mean, I just think that he needs a fresh start somewhere. And if he can stay healthy, I think he's more than serviceable. But it's just he's got to have the right system around him, and he can't be in a situation where you have the best or you have no running game or no running game that's utilized. You know what I mean? Because when he's struggling and you're still having him throw it 48 times a game, I mean, that's a recipe for sucking. You know what I mean? Like that's the game plan that you brought. Just keep on throwing it, and hopefully it'll get better. I feel like the Doug Peterson just did a horrible job managing him and taking care of helping him through the struggles. I feel like he would rather just say, he's not doing things right.
Yeah.
Than to actually help. I don't know. It was a messy situation, but like I said, I hope that he performs better in Indy, and if he let's put it this way, you can't ask for a better situation. They have just about everything. And he has the offensive coordinator there that was with the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. So there is no excuse.
Yeah.
This is it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, who the brighter side of the trade will be dependent on whether Wentz can stay healthy and if he still plays at a high level that he was when he first came into the league. If he can play kind of like that, then I feel like this is definitely a huge steal for the Colts. But if he shows up there and gets injured again, then Eagles just gave away a player and an injury-prone player for pretty much and got pretty solid return. So
yeah, I was gonna say, people are crapping all over him, and let's just put it this way: if he does turn out to be the player that everybody's crapping on for the Colts, then the Eagles, no matter what they got a great thing. You know what I mean? The only bad part about it is that even with us getting rid of him, we took a $33 million cap hit. We took, and that's the highest ever that somebody's had to pay for a cap hit when a player got traded.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I would definitely hope that he could go to Indianapolis and have a little bit of success, but at the same time, it's like, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm kind of hoping he doesn't, because I feel like they gave up. They didn't get equal value in return if he turns out to play like that. I mean, I don't think a second rounder and a third rounder really is.
Yeah.
I would have been asking for well, then again, I mean, he struggled with injuries, so at the same time, it's kind of like, well.
Yeah. Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, overall, sad to see him go. I'm a big fan of his, personally. But, you know, I'll admit that he had his struggles and stuff last year. I mean, I watched a lot of games, and, you know, he did a lot of things wrong, so.
You know what, he kind of reminds me of Dalton in a way. I mean, I think just the way he was playing throughout his first couple seasons, he was playing some really good ball. But as his career has progressed, he hasn't really gotten any better.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just kind of, but Dalton hasn't really had the injury problems that Wentz has had to deal with. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see. But I mean, overall, though, I mean, I wish him the best. I'm sad to see him go as a fan of his, but you know, I think it was something the Eagles had to do, was move on. I don't see any way that relationship with the organization, because of how everything happened, could be fixed.
Now, yeah. Now, with that being said, where do you think they go with the QB position going forward?
Well, it should be Jalen. I mean, nothing that happened last year would suggest that Jalen doesn't deserve at least the starting job for now.
Yeah.
I mean, he played well when he went in there. You know what I mean? He deserves a chance. So, I mean, and here's the thing is I keep hearing rumors about us drafting a guy. And I'm like, what are we doing? I just don't understand, man. I've been hearing about Justin Fields and stuff. And I'm like, why? Why are we doing this again? What happened to Sudfeld the Dream? I thought he had all the tools. You know? What happened to him? All we ever heard about was how amazed everybody was and how great he's performed. What happened to it? Where's that? We don't need a quarterback, remember? We got Sudfeld. Oh, okay. He's not that. Wow, imagine that. I knew that. Anyway, drafting another quarterback is not what we need. We need help in so many more other positions than just quarterback. And if we draft, offensive line could use some help. We need a wide receiver. We need, especially with Jackson gone, we need somebody that we can reliably throw the ball to. We need, I mean, if we're trading Zach Ertz too, we're probably, I don't know. I mean, it's just a mess.
I honestly was kind of surprised when they drafted Rager last year at wide receiver. That was kind of a surprise to me. I was expecting them to go with Rager.
Oh, yeah.
When they drafted him, I thought they would go more
Jefferson.
Like Justin Jefferson, or maybe...
Dude, if we had Justin Jefferson right now, we'd have the number one receiver and we wouldn't be worried about anything. That's the part that kind of upsets me, is every year it seems like the guys we pick don't work out or are injury prone. Meanwhile, people drafting after us are getting star receivers. And it's like, we could have taken those guys.
T. Higgins. Bengals took T. Higgins.
But we didn't draft before you.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But Justin Jefferson, we drafted before the Vikings. They got Justin Jefferson. We got Rager, who's been injury prone. Couple years ago, we got Arcega Whiteside.
What else he turned out to be
the
good
Seahawks,
for one catch?
The Seahawks got DK Metcalf. Imagine if we had DK Metcalf. I'd be loving life. But instead, we're making jokes about a guy that catches one ball a week. And that's it. And it's usually for like 8 yards or less. It's not even like one ball for 77 yards and a touchdown. It's like one ball, 6 yards, and the rest of the time he disappears. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But, if we draft a quarterback, though, I'm going to be pissed. This is not the right move at all. It's not the right move.
Especially considering you drafted Hurts in the second round.
If you have questions about who's going to be quarterback, what I would say is bring in somebody like Tyrod Taylor to be the backup. And if Jalen is not working out, put in Taylor, and at least we're good for this season. But I don't want to see Justin Fields drafted. I think that would be a mistake. I think it would be a mistake to draft a quarterback in the first round or in the second when we have so many other things that need to be addressed. For instance, when we got Michael Jaquette III out there giving up the highest number of yards to a receiver ever on targets and stuff, apparently we need some corners who can guard. So Patrick Surtain from Alabama, come on down. It's time to draft you, buddy. You're about to suit up in an Eagles uniform. Not Justin Fields. We don't need another quarterback. We already have a young quarterback. We already have a young quarterback that was supposed to apparently be the future last year, even though we already had a quarterback then. So, no Justin Fields. If we draft,
I would stick with Hurts. Yeah.
If we draft a quarterback in the first round, good Lord, what a way to kick off the freaking football season with me getting pissed off in another video. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I would hope not, but we'll see.
But everything I keep reading is more and more about people doing that. Now, another thing I'm reading is about Devontae Smith possibly being drafted. Now, listen, some people are upset or whatever about the possibilities of taking Devontae Smith and yada yada. Here's the thing I have to say on that. If we take Devontae Smith, who won the Heisman Trophy, and he does not work out, okay, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, I'll take a chance on that. If we draft the Heisman, the best player in college football, and he doesn't pan out, okay, that sucks. But you took the best player in college football.
Are you guys, what pick number are you guys?
6.
Oh, we're 5.
I know that.
So.
I know. So, the other choice is, give the Bengals the 6th pick, have them give us Joe Burrow, and we'll just go forward. Let them have Justin Fields.
No, I'm good. I'll keep Burrow.
We'll give you Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, and we'll take Burrow.
Since we're kind of talking about draft, and considering our two teams are picking like right next to each other, I want to give you guys kind of my take on who the Bengals should be drafting. So, are you okay with touching on that? Or?
Well, I think it would be better for a separate video.
Okay, fair enough. We'll just touch on it.
That way we can wrap this one up.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, lastly, Desean Jackson. Listen, I'm a fan of his too. I mean, the first time he was a great player for the Eagles. Second time he maybe played 5 games, and he was basically just an injury-prone person that disappeared out there. So, booyah, whatever. Cry me a river, didn't work out. Sad that it didn't, because if he would have played and could have played like he did in his first stint, he would have been a huge difference for this team. But he couldn't stay on the field. So, again, I'm not upset that we took a chance on him, but it just didn't work out, you know. But I was excited when they got him, and I was like, man, if he can stay on the field, this is going to be a great addition for cheap, you know, because we didn't pay him an insane amount.
Wait, who?
Desean Jackson. We didn't pay him an insane amount for his second stint here in Philly. So it's unfortunate that he didn't work out, but, you know, he's still, you know, going to be remembered in the Eagles' history, you know, for the things he did his first time around. Like I said, I'm a fan of his, and it's just
Didn't
unfortunate.
he trash the organization when he first left?
I don't remember.
I think he did.
Well, I don't know. He didn't really need to, because all he did was sign with the Redskins. So if he didn't trash the organization, he basically trashed it when he signed with Washington.
Yeah,
so that sucked. But, you know, apart from that, though, he came back, was an Eagle again, and, you know, props to him. But, you know, good luck moving forward. Just won't be with the Eagles. So.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of our thoughts on that whole thing. You know, Godspeed, Carson Wentz. Good luck in Indy. And, you know, Eagles, if you want me to still remain a fan, you know, don't draft frickin' Justin Fields in this round. You know, I'm still hurting from that whole end of the season Washington scandal thing that happened with the whole Hurts being benched and throwing Sudfeld. And, I mean, just that whole thing, I'm still recovering from that. So, please, don't kick me in the groin while I'm down and draft Justin Fields in the first round. I can't take it right now. I mean, I
think the Lions are taking it.
It's going to be...
You might not have to worry.
Yeah, but we're before the Lions.
You are?
Yes. So,
I thought the Lions were in the top 5.
I don't know. We had a worse record than the Lions did.
Oh.
So, yeah, we couldn't even beat the Lions. I mean, that's how bad we were. But seriously, I can't take it right now. Please. Please don't draft Justin Fields. I mean, it would be too much for me. I'd probably keel over and die. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you build a little wall around the notification button, and make sure that you check out the rest of the content on this channel. We talk football, basketball, hockey, baseball, NASCAR, UFC, wrestling, WWE. We got all kinds of content, so
yep.
I'm sure you'll find something that you guys can enjoy. So make sure you go check that stuff out. With that being said, guys, Bryson,
Bennett,
see you guys in the next video.
Peace.